Hey everyone, so tomorrow I'm going to be presenting at the DC Music Education Conference, and I wanted to give you a little bit of an insight into what I'm actually speaking to. And it's on instructional design fundamentals for music educators, so music teachers that are in their classroom and really want to drive outcomes and see behavior changes using learning science. So there are three primary topics that I'll be speaking to, and the first one is backwards design, which most people might be familiar with because it's a curriculum development framework. So you usually start with a national standard or a state standard, and you move backwards into objective writing, then assessment to understand how you're going to demonstrate mastery, or the learner will. And then you get to instruction. And the biggest pitfall I see in this is people actually do that backwards, where they start with instruction and move up and try to tease out standard alignment. That is not successful because it's not a true direct alignment to the outcome, which is where you're starting in a backwards design model. The second major topic I'll be speaking to is the addie model, which is actually derived from adult learning, and I don't know why it hasn't made its way into K-12 education. So this is analyze, design, develop, implement, and evaluate. And the real key difference between this model and backwards design model is that in the beginning you don't have a standard. So if your learners are demonstrating a behavior that you want to change, this gives you the tools to analyze that and create a metric to say, I want to change this, versus I see the standard and I know what to do with that. So this framework's actually pretty important. The third one is learning patterns. How do you take these frameworks and actually implement it into a learning experience design exercise? So most people that are in performance ensembles probably already have a learning pattern in place where you're warming up, you're rehearsing a small chunk of music, then you're making larger chunks. That is a learning pattern. But these tools, when you start to throw in things like microlearning, gamification, project-based learning, inquiry-based learning, all these buzzwords, once you start to put those into sequences, students start to latch onto that and build consistency. You minimize the amount of context switching that a student has to do, which supports cognitive load. So the session's all about how do you target the behaviors and change them using these three theories of backwards design, addie, and learning patterns. Anyway, if you're into this kind of stuff, I do have a monthly newsletter and the link's in the bio, but otherwise, I hope you got something from this.